Welcome back to part 2 of the detail on the Nissan Rogue. I'm not sure what I'm titling the videos yet because I haven't started editing even the wash video yet because I just did it last night. So we'll just call it the Nissan Rogue video for right now. And today we're going to clay the paint and we're going to prepare the surface for paint correction where it needs to be done and waxing. So let's do it. Alright, let's do a quick walk around. What we're going to be using is my Astro 50 SL color match light. Remember, the hood I know I have to do. See those swirls? You can kind of just follow the light. It's right up here in this area. And when you check for swirls or imperfections in the paint, get different angles. Get down lower, get your light further away. It's kind of hard for me to follow the light with my camera, but let's see if I can get back to where that was. There's some right there you can see in the paint. Little spider webs. Like I said, I know I have to do this. Oh, right there for sure. It's right up here. See that? First thing you want to do after you get done washing the car, and letting it dry, is get a game plan. Walk around the whole vehicle and see what you're going to need to do, what steps you think you're going to have to take. Don't do any do any steps that you just don't need to do that are unnecessary. Only do what needs to be done, because every time you do paint correction, you're removing a little bit of clear coat, and you can only do that so long. Oh, there's some pretty good swirls right there, and that used to be some bird poop. See that right there? Hopefully I can get that fixed. You can only do that so many times before you start getting really thin clear coat, and your clear coat is a UV protectant, so you want to make sure your clear coat stays good. And it never fails, no matter how much I dry. I have a blow dryer I use and I have towels. I dried it out there twice, brought it in and dried it, and still get water spots like that. So I'll have to get rid of that. And then here's the smudge or scratches he wants to get rid of. And then these are the ones I was showing last night. The car definitely has some swirls in it. Not as bad as it was when I did it last year, but she does use car washes. She keeps her car clean, that's for sure. So I can't knock her for that, even though I don't like car washes, but she keeps it clean. See a little bit of swirls right there. So like I said in my last video, I want to try to get a little bit more in depth on this video series. So these videos right here, this video right here is going to be preparing the surface for paint correction and wax. So what we want to do is we want to decontaminate the paint. That is any type of rail dust and brake dust. It's not iron and fallout. I don't have any of that, but this is good enough. It decontaminates the paint really well. And the reason that we clay bar is when the surface is dirty, still has contaminants on it that you can't see with your naked eye. You can only feel it with like a bag on your hand. It's harder for the wax or sealant to adhere to the paint. And the best way I can describe that, and I can put this in an analogy, is because I'm a mechanic, and some of you that are watching my channel might be mechanics as well. Let's just say a valve cover gasket's leaking, so you take the valve cover off. You clean it all up, put the new gasket in there. You don't put the valve cover back on a dirty cylinder head where the valve cover gasket used to go, where there's a bunch of junk kind of build up. It can actually be kind of wavy. So what you want to do is you want to get that perfectly clean, so that when you put your valve cover gasket down on there, you know it's going to seal to the valve cover. Same thing, you want a clean surface of paint so your wax and sealant will adhere to it. Same exact thing. So what we're going to do next is I'm going to get my bag, and we're going to go over the vehicle and see if and what needs to be clayed. I know that the hood's going to need clayed. I'm not sure about the rest of the vehicle because I did clay it last year, and you only clay when it's absolutely necessary. I can only say that so much. It is an abrasive. It's not going to be taking tons of clear coat or anything like that off, but it is considered an abrasive, so you only do it when it absolutely needs to be done. It's not going to fix any imperfections in the paint. It's just going to remove any surface contamination that's on the paint. So if I feel that the hood needs fixed, or decontaminated, I'm sorry, I'm trying to put this bag on my hand and think at the same time, decontaminated, but the fender doesn't, I'm not going to do the fender. I'm just going to do the hood. So let's see what happens here. It's not bad. Definitely some on here. But the microphone's probably not even picking that up. It's kind of quiet, but I can feel it. This fender definitely is about the same way. This door is better, but I can still feel it on the door. I think I'm probably gonna have to clay the whole vehicle. Put around to here. Yep. I can feel it pretty good. And when you clay paint, it doesn't take very long. I mean, you can do a whole vehicle in 15-20 minutes if you stick to it and get it done. I have the I forget what Griot's Garage calls it. It's the glove you wear with that weird looking rubber on it for paint decontamination. I liked it when I first got it, but the more and more I used it, I realized that it leaves like these little looking diamonds all over the paint, whether I use the speed shine or I use it with soapy water after a wash. So I've kind of stopped using that, and I'm just going back to the old method of claying because that's the best method. I mean, it works the absolute best. So let me get my clay bar and my speed shine, everything all set up, and we will get started. All right, let's get this party started. We're going to be using Griot's Garage paint cleaning clay. One thing I want to mention, when you are done claying your vehicle, make sure it gets into a container or something that's going to seal it. And then you want to put a lubricant in there. That's the speed shine, Griot's Garage speed shine. I need to buy another bottle of this. I'm about out. And then we're going to be using speed shine as our lubricant with speed shine cloths to remove. And you don't need a big old glob of clay. You just need a small amount. You just want to knead it into a nice flat piece. And as you use it, it's going to get really thin. If you drop any of this on the ground, throw a piece away. You know, if you get a rock in here or something, tear it off, throw it away. You do not want to start putting scratches into your paint. And then every time you get done doing a section, you fold it over and knead it again, and that suspends all the dirt into the middle of the clay. And I've said this before, but if you've never watched my videos before, I use a lot of lubricant. I am not shy when it comes to lubricant. I don't care. Some people might think I'm using too much. I don't care. It doesn't matter to me, because the more lubricant I put on there, the safer it's going to be for the paint. And when you clay, you're going to clay the exact same way you polish, not circles. It's always straight lines. And just imagine like a 2 foot by 2 foot box. I'm going to go larger than that, but if you've never clayed before, make sure you start small, 2 foot by 2 foot, and it's going to be a crosshatch pattern. So you're going to go up and down all the way through the 2 foot, and then you're going to go side to side, up and down, side to side, and you'll feel it. It'll start getting really smooth. You'll feel it in the clay. So we're going to start up here. I'm going to do this whole side of the hood. Like I said, I've been doing this for a long time, so I don't mind doing a big section. And then first time you use it, spray your clay bar. This hood's not really bad. I can feel it, but it's not a lot. And you don't have to do the crosshatch pattern, just don't do circles. Just make straight line passes like this. And you don't want your speed shine or your lubricant that you bought to dry on the paint. So right there, I'm not feeling any more contaminants. It's not feeling rough. paint's pretty clean from washing because there's really only like one little black streak. And you're just gonna dry this section off. And then you're gonna move on to the next section. Normally I start with the right front fender on all the cars I detail, but like I said, I wanted to do more in-depth videos this time. So I started on the hood because it's easier for you guys to see. Okay, and that's it. Basically this half of the hood is done. And if I get my bag back out, you can actually do it with these gloves, but I've already gotten clay on them, so I'm not gonna. I'll put the bag back on my fingers. It's completely smooth. I don't feel any contaminants. It's so simple. And that's all there is to it. I would recommend wearing gloves. I didn't used to, but I got tired of picking the clay out from underneath my fingernails, and it actually gets in, I hope this makes sense, kind of like your fingerprints, the lines in your skin. And it kind of gets down in there and it just doesn't feel very good on your skin. So I did that one section. This is the side that I did because it's got those little streaks in it. So all we're going to do, we're going to fold that over, and then I'll fold it over again. And now I'll just knead it out. I'll move you guys over. And we're going to do the middle of the hood. Yes, it's a lot of lubricant. But I personally would rather be safe than sorry. Give yourself a lot more work if you start scratching your paint because you don't have enough lubricant. Because you can scratch a paint if you don't do this right. But chances are pretty slim. Clay and paint is pretty straightforward. And it's kind of gratifying to me when you take a surface that's, I've done cars that felt like, I don't know, 120 grit sandpaper. It felt terrible. When I got done, they were just smooth as glass. And I never even understood that for a long time. I didn't clay paint for a very, very long time. I always thought it was a waste. Until I bought a Griot's kit that came with clay, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna try this out. I've never not clayed since then. I always clay now. Because when I first started detailing cars, you know, on the side for my family or whatever to make money, I was using, I think it was Meguiar's cleaner wax. I'd wash it, throw the cleaner wax on it, and be like, oh man, it looks great. And now I realize that didn't look good at all. And I'm not knocking Meguiar's by any means, but because they have some really good waxes. Flip it over, knead it back down. We'll go to this corner right here. I'm gonna step on the other side of you guys. Grab my towel. You will need several microfiber towels for when you clay because it's gonna get really wet, especially with as much lubricant as I use. It gets really wet pretty quick. I'm gonna show you. See the size of this right now? It's about that thick. Show you what it looks like when I get down here. And I'm not applying a bunch of pressure. I am applying a little bit, but I'm basically guiding the clay bar across the paint where I want it to be. And I'm letting the clay bar do the majority of the work. Now, like right there, I still feel a little bit, and my clay bar actually kind of snagged. You'll feel it. Yeah, it feels a lot better. I always use Speed Shine just because that's what I've always used ever since I started claying. If you guys, anybody on here has had good luck with a cheaper lubricant for claying, leave it down in the comments, let me know, because I do go through a lot of Speed Shine because I use a lot on the paint when I'm claying. That's why it takes me so long to dry it too. Okay, so you remember what I showed you? Look how thin that is now. It kind of flattens out as you're using, kind of pancakes out. Completely normal. I've actually got, it's right behind you guys. Let me move you. I got two of these blue clay bars right here. They're not opened yet. That I got from a company called Trinova. Before I started my YouTube channel, before I ever started it. I signed up on their website and they sent me a bottle of their detail spray and their blue clay, and just so they wanted me to leave a review, and I haven't even used it yet, and that was like in December, but I will leave a review once I use it. But I haven't had a chance to do my truck or her car, and that's what I tried in all my new products on. I don't want to take that blue clay, put it on this paint that doesn't belong to me. Next thing you know, I'm scratching it, making it real hazy. I don't want to try that, so I'm going to eventually try it, so you might see some videos on that eventually here in the future. The next important step when it comes to trying to find my stool. Hang on. I'm an ex-athlete and a mechanic, so my knees are terrible. Bending down doesn't feel very good. The next important step in the detail, in my mind, is any of this plastic trim. You tape it off. I used to not do it and found out the hard way that if you don't do it, you put a lot of work into getting wax or polish off of this black plastic trim. That's kind of, you kind of hear that. It's a pain in the butt. Now, one thing I have not tried and I want to try, and I want to know what kind of luck you guys have had. Adam's Polishes, I've been watching videos. They make VRT, vinyl rubber and trim. And I've watched a video of Adam himself using it, and he says if you coat this with the VRT or the in and out spray, what they call, if you coat this before you wax or polish, you don't have to worry about getting wax on it because the wax or polish will just wipe right off. So if that's true, let me know in the comment section. So what we're going to use is 3M blue painter's tape. This is the best tape I have found. I have used the green frog tape, and I found that if I get near that green frog tape with my polisher, it picks up some of the glue, and I don't even realize it. It picks up some of the glue off that tape, and the next thing you know, you have a smear when you come back. And for a while, I was like, I didn't know what was going on. I thought it was my pad. I kept cleaning my pad, and then I figured out what it was. I was getting near that tape, you know, with the throw of the polisher. I didn't think I was hitting it, but apparently I was just barely hitting it, and I was smudging. This stuff doesn't seem to do that, so I use the blue 3M painter's tape. And I know this is probably going to be kind of boring for you to watch, but I said I wanted to do more in depth. So here I am doing more in-depth videos. Now I put one piece on because I want to show you. None of this video is planned, by the way. This is just kind of winging it as I go. So I put the blue tape on. It doesn't matter if it has wrinkles or anything in it. Let me show you where I worry about it the most. I'm not really worried about here. I mean, I am, but I'm not. What I'm worried about is this lip right here. Get my hand away from it so the camera will focus. That lip right there, that's just a polisher's nightmare, because you want to get all the way down to here to correct paint, or when you're waxing, you want to get wax on all the painted surfaces. But when you have this little 90-degree angle of this little lip, your polisher is going to hit it. Even if you do it by hand, you're going to hit it. So what I do when I tape it, I gotta move my tripod so I can show you. Hey kids, stop. What I do, I get a little bit of it hung over, and then I go around and I push it down with my fingers all the way, and then right there. Yep, I wasn't watching the screen. Sorry, I was watching my hand. Like that. So now I am covered on this edge, the flat, and I'm also covered right here because there's no reason in the world for me to bring my polisher far enough down to hit this black right here. No reason at all. So I just bring the polisher down to about here. If I hit it, bam, tape's gonna take care of it. So that is why I tape off. So I'm gonna finish taping off the whole vehicle and then we will come back. Okay, so this step is done, which is basically the final step before polishing. I even put it like right here where there's a chance that I might get wax or sealant. Even up here. I take it along all the way around. Yeah, it ain't pretty, but it don't matter. It doesn't have to be. It's just there until I get done. Kind of a cool blue color on your car now. Because I know the owners are gonna be watching this. Kind of like it, matches, goes good with the pink. All the way across the front, all the way around. That's gonna do it for this video. This video was to show you how I prepare this paint and the surface and the trim for polish or paint correction, whatever you want to call it. Everybody calls it something different. And waxing. Clay barred the paint. You know, well, actually first, sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. First, I went around and kind of made myself a game plan. I know where most of the imperfections are at that I want to get to, what I want to fix. And then from there, we clayed the paint. Speed Shine, Griot's Garage, Speed Shine, Griot's Garage, paint cleaning clay, and Griot's Garage Speed Shine cloths for removal. And then once I got done claying the paint, then we went around and taped off all the trim. Let me tell you, it actually took me about 25 minutes to tape all the trim off. That took longer than it did for me to clay the whole car. It takes a while. I mean, you got a lot of delicate spots around the car, those little 90-degree turns on that molding that you want to make sure you get. That 20 or 25 minutes I spent on doing that, if I didn't do it and I got wax all down one side, my neighbors just started mowing, so hopefully you hear me. If I got wax all down the plastic molding on one side, it is hard to get off. It'd take me longer to try to get it off than it did just to go ahead and tape the whole car off. So tape the car off. It just makes a big difference. And then once it's done, pull it off. There's no adhesive left over on the trim. Then I usually put a trim coating on and it's good to go. So the next video will be the paint correction video for this vehicle, and it probably be paint correction and wax. I'm not sure. It might be wax in a fourth video. I'm not sure. Just depends on how long my paint correction video is going to be. So if you like this video, give me a thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button while you're down there. Hit that little bell so every time I upload a video, you get notified. And we will see you in the next video.